Welcome back, everybody. Obviously, the weekend is here, and some of you got all kinds of neat plans, I'm sure. Hopefully, a lot of it's going to be indoors. We're down to 95 after an afternoon high today. It got us up to 98. Now, if I told you that that's going to go to 100 or 101, would you be even further saddened? I don't want you to be sad. I just want you to be ready for that stuff, because we're going to start pushing this kind of number over the next couple of days. I'll tell you why in a second. These are the highs that we observed today: 93 in Palacios, 95 Bay City, 98 for us, 102 in Gonzales, and everybody on the other side of Gonzales continues with temperatures in the hundreds. You can see it right there. Look at I-35 all the way to Dallas in the low 100s, and everybody west in the hundreds, and everybody on the west coast also on the hundreds. Now, as I was mentioning, the dome is moving around. Where it's centered makes a big difference on how hot it's going to be. This is the forecast for tomorrow, so basically I-35 well into the hundreds, and we're going to be really close. Problem is, as the dome moves around, it may affect us a little bit differently, but I've got some news for you. Oppressive humidities right on through the weekend. So there's no real change right about there. All you got to know is that if you need to walk the dog or get outside to the yard or let the children play late, about sundown or early in the morning before maybe 10 or 11 o'clock, I know you got to get out. I know some guys are going to go do golf, and as long as they've got a breeze blowing, that'll help. But still, you got to replace the fluids because you're going to perspire quite a bit. Now, let's see what's going on in the state. Believe it or not, a couple of thunder showers along the Red River, but not so much in Texas. We're fairly quiet right about now. Heat advisories for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then possibly even spreading into next week. Now, the heat index all the way from, the bubble of heat all the way from Alabama to the West Coast, and here is the concern. Now, the center of the dome is right about here, okay? So that's why it's going to be blazing in the desert Southwest over the weekend. We're still on the warm side, but remember that the winds are coming clockwise around this line, okay? They're going like this, right? So what's going to happen early next week is the dome is going to move over us. That's why the temperatures will go up to about 101, 102 for us. And then it's going to move back to the Intermountain region, basically right here, Utah. And that's going to allow us to get a little bit of cooler weather, slightly cooler weather, not as hot weather. And that won't be for 10 days, though. I'm just giving you a glimmer of hope so that, you don't lose all hope. So we'll watch and wait for that one, okay? That's 10 days from now. Now, we have a tropical storm in the Atlantic. It's called Don. Don really can't get its act together, can't decide which way to go. Look at Don went up, then Don went down, then Don went round and round, and then the forecast passes this one. So not going to be much of a storm. That's Don. Of course, you know who we're talking about here. So on the West Coast, we have this storm, which will strengthen to a hurricane, but then fall apart before it gets to the Hawaiian Islands. All right, here is the forecast for Port Lavaca. And then, of course, for those of you in Cuero, you'll get up to about 101 degrees, and that's what we're looking for on your 7-day forecast. Reminding everybody that we do have a QR code.